Alright, so this is the 93 PRX tune. And man, this it's just so much better. This is the tune you want. Put 93 in your car. Run this tune. This is the one you want. I was pretty much giggling like a schoolgirl all the way to work. First day on my commute. It just had so much more throttle response, so much more down low power, so much more mid-range power, and more top-end power too. I had better hill climbing power. I had more power on tap, like everywhere that I'd be driving on my commute. It was just amazing. Like, it feels like this is how it's supposed to be. So the shifting's about the same, nice and firm and quick as it was on the 87 PRX, which it should be because they both have the same shift parameters. So the shifting's exactly the same. But man, switching from 87 PRX to 93 PRX is like night and day. Like, you make so much more power and so much sooner on 93 octane than the 87. There's no way I'm ever going back from this tune. So much better. The shift points seem about the same as far as where they shift in the RPM. It might be a smidge higher on the 93 tune, but it's negligible. Like I said, shifts nice and quick and firm, just like it did on the 87 PRX. I got used to it pretty quick. Like, as soon as I got in the car, as soon as I started driving down the road, I just started laughing hysterically because it was just so much better. But later that night on the way home, I had pretty much gotten used to it already. So it doesn't last long, but there was a huge difference. Let me tell you what, if you go from a stock car and then just go straight to 93 PRX, there's going to be a massive difference. Because there was a big difference for me going from their 87 tune to the 93 tune. If you go from a stock car to the 93 PRX, you're going to be happy. It's going to be a huge difference. This, just going from the 87 PRX, which was already an improvement, to the 93 PRX was a bigger difference in itself than anything else I've done in the car so far. Way bigger noticeable difference than the quarter intake. Way bigger difference than when I had the 93 SCT can tune on there. And I was already having one of their tunes on here just from going from 87 to 93 with their tune. So yeah, I can't say enough positive things about how much more power it makes on the 93 PRX. So that's definitely the one you want. To me, definitely worth paying more for the 93 gas. So in sport, it's still doing the same thing it did in sport on the 87 PRX, where it's short shifting for some reason. I still don't get that, but I don't really intend on driving around in sport unless I'm manually shifting it, which I do often in the twisties, and it still works great on this. I made a note on the 87 PRX that I really like how the sport shift works now on their tune, and the same is the case with the 93 PRX. It's nice and crisp, and it doesn't do any of the funky stuff like it does when it was stock. But if you leave it in sport and let it shift automatically, it still, for some reason, like, really short shifts the motor. So I don't get that. I'm going to give them a call, see what they have to say about it, and I'll put that in here. But I don't really intend on driving around in sport anymore. I used to, and with the other tunes, and when it was stock, because I felt like it didn't have any damn power pulling 6th gear until I was at least doing like 80 on the highway. But I no longer feel that way, especially with this tune. I actually feel like I have power on tap now. Driving around 6th gear, like, I actually have a little bit of throttle response, and it does a really good job of, if I push it down just a little more, cruising in 6th, it doesn't even try to lug it, not in drive. It'll just straight down shift to 5th and then 4th and 3rd, and depending on how much I need. So it does really good at downshifting when it needs to, and I have a lot more power on tap driving around. The first few times I punched it, I could tell there was a lot more power there. Like I said, I got used to it really quick, but it was just so apparent that it pulled so much harder and stronger Like, I could just feel that the car was rolling out quicker. Like I said, this has been the biggest change, going from 87 PRX to 93 PRX. I couldn't imagine just taking a stock car and then putting a 93 PRX on it, because it's going to be a huge difference. I slowly worked my way up, and it was still a huge difference going from the next best tune to this one. So if you go from a stock car to this, it's just going to be a massive improvement. So definitely highly recommended. So really, that's about all I got to say about it. It's going to stay here on a 93 PRX, which I knew since before I even got it that's where it was going to be. But hell yeah, it's definitely way better. I'm going to give him a call, like I said, and see what's up with the short shifting of sport, but I'm not even that concerned about it. But my curiosity's killing me, plus I'm sure you guys are wondering, so throw that up here. All right, well, I called him and I asked about the short shifting in sport, and he said that I guess the software on these things doesn't allow them to do some of the things they can do on other vehicles. And he said that they actually recommend just driving it in drive, and that I don't know, basically it's going to perform the way you want it in drive, which I said in the video that was the case. So other than giving me the explanation that they're limited on what they can do with these cars because of the software, that was pretty much it. He says they recommend to drive it in drive, and that yeah, I don't know, he made it sound like there's not a whole lot they can do to mess with it in sport. That's why you want to drive it around in drive, because it's easier for them to access those parameters. A little odd, because when I was on the SCT can tune, it didn't do that in sport, but now with the MPT tune it's doing it. But that was the answer I got, although he did say that if I want, I can data log or something like that, and they can take another look at it and see if there's anything they can change. But I'm not going to worry about it, because like I said, now that I'm on the 93 PRX, I actually have what I feel is enough power in drive and in 6th gear, and especially considering the fact that it doesn't grab 6th until later speed now, so it's not lugging the motor like it used to before. I really don't have any issue to drop down to sport unless I'm wanting to manually shift it, so I'm okay with that. But I just wanted to include that in this video to give you guys an answer. So yeah, that wraps up the whole super long series of tune reviews from the SCT can tunes and now the MPT tunes. So appreciate you guys watching. Sorry if I rambled too much, which I'm sure I did. But we still got more videos coming up, more power adders. Putting the MMR water pump pulley on still. I got my exhaust system that I'm installing, and I still got to do the 373 gears. All that is already at my place, ready to go in, just when I get the time to do it. So that's definitely coming up soon, all of that. And then hopefully, as I've been saying, next year we'll be supercharging this thing. So stay tuned, subscribe, click on the bell, and hit all for notifications if you want to be notified when I post. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.